Hi, hello. I am Mr. John. Welcome to the session. I think this video will be very useful to you. Let's go to the video. But before that, please do subscribe and turn on the notification by clicking the bell icon.
In this video, we are going to see about respiratory system. Let's go. The cells of the body need energy for all their metabolic activities. Most of this energy is derived from chemical reactions, which can take place only in the presence of oxygen. The main waste product of these reactions is carbon dioxide. Exchange of gases between the blood and the lungs is called external respiration, and between the blood and the cells is called internal respiration. Let us see about the organs of respiratory system. They are nose, that is also known as nasal cavity, pharynx, larynx, trachea, lungs, bronchi and bronchioles. These are the organs of respiratory system. Now let us see about each organ. First, nose. The nose is the first of the respiratory passages through which the inspired air passes. In the nasal cavity, air is warmed, moistened, and filtered. It is the prominent structure between the eyes that serves as the entrance to the respiratory tract and contains the olfactory organ. Nose has the two opening and are the main route of air entry into the respiratory system. The right and left nasal cavities are separated by the nasal septum. It is a thin wall made of bones and cartilages. Functions of the nose: sense of smell, specialized receptors that detect smell, the olfactory epithelium. The nerve signals are carried by the olfactory nerves to the brain, where the sensation of smell is perceived. Filtering and cleaning. Hairs at the anterior nares trap larger particles. Smaller particles, such as dust and bacteria, settle and adhere to the mucus. Humidification. As air travels over the moist mucosa, it becomes saturated with water vapor. Irritation of the nasal mucosa results in sneezing, a reflex action that forcibly expels an irritant. Now let us see about pharynx. The pharynx is a passageway, about 12 to 14 centimeters long. It runs behind mouth and larynx. The pharynx is divided into three parts. They are nasopharynx, oropharynx, laryngopharynx. Nasopharynx. The nasopharynx represents the most superior portion of the pharynx, bounded superiorly by the skull base and inferiorly by the soft palate. The nasopharynx connects the nasal cavity to the oropharynx. Oropharynx. The part of the throat at the back of the mouth, behind the oral cavity. It includes the back third of the tongue, the soft palate, the side and back walls of the throat, and the tonsils. Laryngopharynx. It is the most caudal portion of the pharynx, and is a crucial connection point through which food, water, and air pass. Pharynx divides anteriorly into the larynx and posteriorly into the esophagus. Functions of pharynx: passageway for air and food. The pharynx is involved in both the respiratory and digestive system. Speech. By acting as a resonating chamber for sound, ascending from the larynx, it helps to give the voice its individual characteristics. Protection. The lymphatic tissue of pharyngeal and laryngeal tonsils produces antibodies in response to swallowed or inhaled antigens. Now let us see about larynx. The larynx or voice box links the laryngopharynx and the trachea. Until puberty, There is a little difference in the size of the larynx between the sexes. Thereafter, it grows larger in the male, which explains the prominence of the Adam's apple and the generally deeper voice. The larynx is composed of 9 irregularly shaped cartilages, attached to each other by ligaments and membranes. Functions of larynx. Speech. When the sounds produced by the vocal cord are amplified and manipulated by the tongue, cheeks, and lips. Passageway for air. The larynx links the pharynx above with the trachea below. Protection of the respiratory tract. During swallowing, the larynx moves upwards, blocking the opening into it from the pharynx. In addition, the hinged epiglottis close over the larynx. This ensures that food passes into the esophagus and not into the trachea. Now let us see about trachea. Trachea is also called as windpipe. The trachea is approximately 10 to 11 centimeters long and lies mainly in the median plane in front of the esophagus. Trachea is a continuation of the larynx and extends downwards to about the level of the 5th thoracic vertebrae, where it divides at the cornea into the right and left primary bronchi. Functions of trachea. Provide a safe, sturdy passageway for air to travel from the mouth or nose to the lungs. Prevent the passage of foreign objects into the respiratory system. Regulate the temperature and humidity of air passing into the lungs. Now let us see about the lungs. There are 2 cone-shaped lungs, one lying on each side of the midline, in the thoracic cavity. Each is an apex, a base, a costal surface, and a medial surface. Apex. This is rounded and rises into the root of the neck, about 25 mm above the level of the middle third of the clavicle. Base. This is concave and semilunar in shape, and lies on the upper surface of the diaphragm. Costal surface. This is the broad outer surface of the lung, that lies directly against the costal cartilages, the ribs and the intercostal muscles. Medial surface. Each is concave and has a roughly triangular shaped area called hilum. The right lung is divided into 3 distinct lobes, that is superior, middle, and inferior. The left lung is smaller, because the heart occupies space left of the midline. Left lung is divided only 2 lobes, superior and inferior. Functions of the lungs. The main function of the lungs is the process of gas exchange, called respiration, or breathing, regulating blood volume and blood pressure, regulates acid-base balance. Now let us see about bronchi and bronchioles. The 2 primary bronchi are formed when the trachea divides. They are right bronchus and left bronchus. Right bronchus. This is wider, shorter, and more vertical than the left bronchus. It is approximately 2.5 centimeters long. After entering the right lung, it divides into 3 branches, 1 to each lobe. Left bronchus. This is about 5 centimeters long and is narrower than the right. After entering the lung, it divides into 2 branches, 1 to each lobe. Functions. Control of air entry. The diameter of the respiratory passage is altered by construction or relaxation of the smooth muscle in their walls, regulating the speed and volume of air flow into and within the lungs.
I hope that this video is useful to everyone. And please do subscribe my channel and turn on the notification by clicking the bell icon for more notes. Thank you.